I'm Scott Allen Miller. This is the 7th of October 2021. Welcome to the Sheep Guarding Llama vlog for Thursday. And today was a kind of eventful day. So yesterday, while working on some paperwork for the new property that we just agreed to buy, we discovered that the survey paperwork showed it at 2,020 meters instead of 4,040, making it, instead of 0.99 acres, making it 0.49 acres. That's an awfully big difference, especially given that the plan was that we were going to divide it, and most of the land is really rough, so you can't really go look at it, you can't walk around it easily. You need a machete and a whole lot of off, and it's tough. So what we had originally worked out and have been planning all along, there is a house and some property at the front of the lot that's right against the road, and it has the outside gate. So the plan was that NTG was going to take that portion of the property and turn it into a parking lot immediately, and long-term potentially use the rest for other things, including we were pretty serious about putting our house there instead of on the beach, because there was just more space and it'd be less expensive to construct, and we could potentially have a really nice house really quickly, and room for a pool, all things that are really important to us. So that was stuff we were thinking we were going to do. And the way that we had decided how it was going to work, there are some existing walls, and basically the front quarter acre has some old buildings that we could learn to live with and work around, and the back 3/4 acres was enough room, just enough for Alan to be able to build and have what he wants. So it made a lot of sense. We could all make it work out, and we would just divide it after the sale. Easy peasy, everyone agreed. When we found out that the property is half the size that we had agreed to, that leaves the problem that the portion that is going to be Alan's, because our portion is set just because of where the walls are, because of what makes sense, all kinds of things, and it's actually this one right here. His portion went from 3/4 of an acre to 1/4 of an acre, which meant it went from just barely enough to way too little. And that, no matter anything else, no matter what the financials were, made the whole deal instantly fall apart, just because there wasn't enough space for his plans anyway. So that's a pretty significant change, and made for a very dramatic, surprising discovery. Now the question was, is it really that small, or is the paperwork wrong? So this morning, while having breakfast with Alan and Anna, the real estate agent came by, and we went over the real numbers and the satellite drawings and measured everything, and the answer is no, the numbers were correct. The information we had been told when negotiating the sale was completely fabricated in every way whatsoever. We went through encrypted chats and pulled up that 3 different times the seller had told us exactly the same information: 0.99 acres, 4,040 square meters, which match, and essentially 1 acre, which those things are. 3 times told exactly the same incorrect information. Based on that, the property was negotiated. Based on that, it was a consideration in the first place, because had we known how big it really was, we would never have even looked at it, because it just didn't meet the needs. And so that left this morning with the very big surprise, 2 big surprises, one being it simply doesn't work for the purpose that we were looking at it, and the price that we had negotiated was absolutely absurd, because we were paying twice as much for the amount of space, because he had no interest in changing the price when we found out that he had fabricated the information about the property. So very quickly, that was a walking away from the table situation, as we have had to do here previously. The difference is this was from a New Zealander and not from a local, but someone who is foreign and just trying to take advantage of the situation, hoping that people don't know what they're doing until it's too late. Often the case around here. Unfortunately, that's one of the biggest side effects of trying to do business in the area, but it is what it is. So unfortunately, we had to walk away from that after a lot of planning for the last week. We've been, a full week of believing we had the property. Everything was, agreed to. No one had any problems. Of course, the seller was excited to sell it to us, because we were absolutely suckers given the situation. So that is that is unfortunate and mentally very draining. And the entire morning today was dedicated to that, which of course is incredibly frustrating because I spent the day trying to make today a really big productive work day. It is the Managua shopping trip day, so Paul and Dominica and Leo and Yvonne are all in Managua dealing with the monthly shopping. And so today's my quiet day where there's no interruptions whatsoever and I can focus 100% on getting work done on the book. And I lost the entire morning because I'm the only one here to deal with this, as always. So my entire first part of the day was lost to that. Then our longest with us employee, and for good reasons, is ready to move on to the next step in her career, which is great. I'm very happy for her, but it is very hard for me emotionally because she has been with us through way more than anyone else. She's been around for a very long time. We are very close. And I knew that she needed to move on at some point. I knew that she had gotten her degree. She has a career she wants to go into. We don't really have the kind of work that she is looking to do. It makes sense. I knew it was coming, but today was not the day that I was ready to handle it because already losing what was going to be, as of yesterday, our new home, now we don't know where we're planning on living. Everything is thrown into turmoil again, and we have to start over with what do we even want to do to approach where we're putting our house. None of it's the worst thing in the world. It's all financially actually probably a good thing. We were certainly overpaying, again, just like we had in the past. We were doing it because we really went into it in the first place because Alan wanted to have the space up there. It was a big space, but it was too much space for him, and it was going to be overly expensive for him to get it all by himself, and it made a lot of sense for us to go in and help him. So we were getting a deal on some of the property. He was getting the whole system just way easier for him to be able to have a place someday. It just worked, right? It just made sense, but it was a whole lot of, well, this works for him, we'll make do. Then if he's not gonna be there and we're gonna be the only ones living there, like, does it even still make sense? And it starts being like, well, originally we were only gonna be there because he was gonna be next door. And so the whole thing, by the time we're done, it's like, wait, none of this works. We were probably overpaying because it was a snowball effect, just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And eventually we were buying this huge property, and I don't know if it really made sense at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, we don't have to worry about it. But now we have to figure everything out again. So we're hoping that we can find a good piece of property and potentially put in a house and a pool and all those things. We will see. There's a lot of up in the air at the moment, and it's very stressful. So I've been home watching the dogs all day. Right now I'm able to do this because the kids came down there playing video games for a while their room gets cleaned and hanging out. So I've not eaten today because I'm just feeling very stressed and emotional, and it's not worth it. So that is, and we're not even halfway through the day yet, right? Well, we are. It's middle of the afternoon, and we had an early rain. But for a Thursday, it's been a lot going on. And yeah. Oh, last night though, I did not get to say before I made the video, the girls and I played Jackbox Party Pack 7, which we liked a lot. There was a lot of good games in there. We had a really good time, but no one was able to join us because everybody gets busy with one kind of work or another. So the kids were upset about that. And then they were hoping we could do it tonight, but everyone is expecting to not get back from Managua until after 10 p.m., which is always crazy. They leave at 6 a.m. These are really long days. It would make sense to just hire someone in Managua to do this stuff and not have 4 people go up for multiple days or for really, really long days, multiple times a month to do all this. Instead, just have someone there who does it. But we will figure these things out in time. So not actually a bad day. At the end of the day, everything was probably good. Not getting the property was probably the best thing. Having an employee who moved on to a better stage of her life is probably a good thing. It's just all a lot of weight for a single day to deal with. So we will see what tomorrow brings, and I will see you on Friday.